While many snake owners often have a very difficult time providing enough humidity for their snake's enclosure, some have a trying experience keeping moisture levels down. If the air within your snake's enclosure is too moist and damp, conditions such as scale rot, which is a very dangerous infection, can develop. So, how do you lower the humidity in your snake's enclosure? In this video, we will detail 7 key ways to accomplish this task while also helping you to understand why snakes need humidity, the exact levels they need in order to stay healthy, and the best bedding options to control humidity levels. Snakes need moist air. Climates with ample amounts of rainfall, substantial plant life, and moderately warm temperatures are typically baking in humidity. Humid air is healthy air in many respects. All animals require some level of humidity in order to stay healthy within their environment. This includes both indoor and outdoor settings. As it directly relates to snakes, most species require a bit more humidity compared to that of your average person. This is most notably true when comparing your personal humidity needs within your home compared to that of your pet snake. Because many snakes come from warm and damper environments, they require moist and damp air. This is good for their skin and respiratory system. Dry air will cause a snake to become dehydrated. This can result in difficulty during the shedding process due to a lack of moisture. Other issues can include anorexia and upper respiratory tract infections. By and large, snakes are far more content with too much humidity than less. However, there is a bit of a balancing act involved as a snake owner. While too much dry air is clearly dangerous for the reasons noted, air that is too humid and too moist can result in scale rot. This condition can be fatal if left untreated. Snakes need a humid environment, but humidity levels must be kept in check for the safety of your pet. The proper humidity level depends on the type of snake in question. It truly is percentage-based in most cases. Your snake's enclosure should always mimic their natural environment. This is rule number 1. Recreating a replica of their environment while still being shielded from your own home environment is key. A snake's enclosure really is 2 separate worlds compared to that of your living room, for example. Humidity levels should display a stark contrast in most cases. Let's explore a few of the most popular pet snakes and their humidity requirements. The corn snake, 40 to 50% humidity. Milk snake, 40 to 60%. California king snake, 50 to 60% humidity. The ball python, 50 to 65% humidity. And finally, the Brazilian rainbow boa, 70 to 80% humidity. In terms of humidity levels and how to measure them properly and precisely, feel and guesswork isn't good enough, unfortunately. While condensation on the walls of your snake's enclosure can provide you with a respectable estimate, moisture on the glass is typically a sign of extreme humidity. If an enclosure is that humid, chances are the entire surface is far too wet and dangerous. The use of what is known as a hygrometer can give you an accurate percentile reading of the amount of water vapor within your snake's enclosure. This tool can be invaluable. While raising the humidity levels in your snake's enclosure can be fixed in relatively short order, reducing humidity levels can be a bit more difficult. Let's explore 7 ways that you can get the job done and ensure that your gorgeous snake is living in a safe and healthy environment. Number 1, move the water bowl. Simple, right? If your snake's bowl is sitting in what is known as the warm end of the enclosure, move it to a cooler spot. Keeping your snake's water in a cool location will help to lower the humidity within the living space. Because evaporation happens in higher temperatures, a water bowl in a cool spot can change the dynamic of your snake's environment. Number 2, smaller water bowl. After you've moved your snake's bowl, try changing the bowl to a smaller variety if possible. Reducing the size by even an inch can provide less overall surface area for water to evaporate. Think of this tip as an extenuation of our Part 1 suggestion. Number 3, increase ventilation. This act is really no different than cracking the window of your own personal automobile. Humidity issues can usually be resolved by increasing ventilation. Warm air rises, so adding more ventilation to your snake's enclosure will allow humid air to escape. This will also allow cooler air from your personal living environment to enter your snake's world. Quite a nice and healthy trade-off that will make your pet a bit more comfortable and healthier. If your snake is currently living in a plastic tub, try drilling a few tiny holes in the lid and the sides. Nothing too big. You'd be surprised how even the smallest punctures can change the airflow inside of your snake's living area. As long as your snake can't escape, you're good to go. Number 4, heat mat to heat lamp. How are you currently heating your snake's enclosure? From above or below? Heating your snake's living space from above will result in a less humid environment. Because heat mats and heat tape provide heat from below, it encourages evaporation, thus increasing humidity. Changing from a bottom heat source to an above ceramic heat bulb could be the best course of action. Make this switch, if possible, while making sure that humidity levels don't drop too low. The last thing you want to do is fix an issue while accidentally creating a new one. Number 5, dehumidifier. Depending on the area of the world in which you reside, or simply the environment within your home, the humidity levels inside your personal living space could be a bit too high for your snake. While it's a bit rare to encounter this situation, it certainly can happen. If this is the case in your personal condition, a dehumidifier can work wonders, most notably for the specific room where your snake is housed. An oscillating fan can also be helpful if it's pointed in the direction of your snake's enclosure. This will help to move humid air away from your pet's housing area. Number 6, the glass house. If your snake is currently living in a plastic enclosure, it could be wise to explore glass as an option. Plastic holds far more humidity compared to a glass structure. While the reward of plastic is heat retention, that can work against you and your lovely pet if humidity levels soar. If you are unable to buy or construct a glass enclosure, consider a wooden enclosure with glass doors. Even a somewhat subtle change to glass can improve humidity levels. Use a trustworthy hygrometer to stay on top of humidity levels so they won't get too low after you've shifted to glass. Number 7, substrate alterations. How's your snake's bedding? Is it aiding in the production of a more humid atmosphere? Is there noticeable dampness on the bedding? If the answer is yes, then it's time for a major overhaul. Bedding that can soak up moisture is vital. This helps to keep the air dry. Some of the best substrate measures for humidity control include aspen, which is a wood-based substrate formed from the shavings of the aspen tree. This bedding is also very popular. Aspen is inexpensive, easy to use, and very clean. It does a prime job when it comes to soaking up moisture. This includes both water spills and urine. The next option is newspaper, the old standby. Newspaper is easily available and it can be easily replaced. While it won't exactly soak up moisture, it can keep humidity levels down if it's changed regularly and it's nice and dry. And finally, paper pulp bedding. This suggestion is paper bedding, which is often marketed towards lovely little critters such as hamsters and other small animals. However, it'll also work quite well for snakes. Incredibly absorbent, paper pulp bedding is good for certain types of snakes that need a bit less humidity and don't require levels in the 70 to 80% range. The only true con about this option is that it's the most expensive of our trio. And on that note, that'll close the chapter on this hot and humid video. If you enjoyed this content, we would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Whether you found us via snakesforpets.com or you're currently viewing this on the YouTube platform, hit that subscribe button and join the fun. We produce new vids on a routine basis, so please stick around. Have you ever encountered a humidity issue involving your snake's enclosure? where it was just a bit too humid for comfort? If so, drop me a line in the comments section and tell me your story. How did you lower the humidity? Did you utilize any of the tips we suggested in this video? Or did you implement other practices? I'd love to read about your situation. Until we meet again, we thank you so much for watching. We wish you all the best with your snake care, and we hope you have a wonderful day.